Okay, so I have a negotiation with Brooklyn, Christine, and Robert Chester for our last negotiation. Um, as I was going through the fact pattern and reviewing it and then re-reviewing it, this is going to be tough. It's an odd collection of individuals who I think all have different styles. Christine, I've negotiated with her before, which I think is an advantage for me. She's very direct and very stern. She has more of an aggressive style. Robert, he seems to be similar, I would say, in styles to me. I think he's a more laid back individual. So I think me and him can hopefully tag team a lot of issues. And then lastly, Brooklyn. She can be aggressive. My main thing with her is trying not to basically trigger her. I know that she can sometimes have a short fuse. And so with her, it's just, being direct without being confrontational, because I think a confrontational style with her would decrease the overall effectiveness of negotiating. But that's my style basically to deal with my counterparts. As far as my style for the fact pattern, I know that point wise, maintenance is like all or nothing for me. So that's really what I want to focus on. Some of the other things I can lose, advertising, I have some 20, 30, and 40 point options. Same with like temperature. If temperature's too hot, I don't get anything, but those are point values that I think I can work with to some degree. If I can even minimize those. I know that the total score is out of 260. I don't really know what my goal is, given I don't know where the score ranking goes per grade. Obviously, I'd like to get as much as I can, but I have a feeling that given that everyone is, subjected to point values, I feel like a lot of people are going to be set in their ways, including me. There are some things I'm willing to give up to gain leverage, kind of a reciprocity kind of deal, to get some of my higher point value categories. And that's really my strategy, is to try and play on reciprocity. And maybe, depending on how things play out, gain some support from at least one of the other counterparts. So if me and Robert, if something's not a high point value to me, but a high point value to him, kind of go with him for his high point value. So hopefully he'll later support me. Or let's say, I don't know if anyone's going to have a similar point value for like maintenance, for example. But if they have a high point value with some of the options that I have, they're also high point values, kind of tag teaming with them, kind of a strength in numbers deal. As far as my BATNA and WATNA, it's really hard for me to come up with those given the point values. My alternative, I assume if I don't negotiate, I'd get a 0. In a real life fact pattern, I'd say my BATNA would be trying to contract with, and obviously I'd try and prep for this ahead of time, try and have a few contracts with other, maybe joint enterprises lined up, or at least in the works. So instead of, maybe a different grocer having location possibly set up with them, if this falls through, WATNA, I just don't get partnered with anybody. But given the situation, we've all come this far to the table as far as the fact pattern goes. I think we can reach an agreement. But without some more facts, it's fairly hard for me to kind of gauge that. But basically, my overall strategy is trying to appeal to each person's individual character without necessarily off-putting one of the others. If I tag team with Robert on something, I don't want to alienate like Brooklyn or Christine. So try and maintain a supportive yet neutral position if I can, as well as try and employ a tactic of reciprocity. I scratch their back, they scratch mine. especially with my higher point category. Like maintenance. Position is something weird. It's all or nothing. It's not a terribly high point category, but I want to play on that. And maybe try and think outside the box. I'm interested to, hear theirs, but also I think similar with my other negotiations, I think I'd kind of like to just be upfront. This is a negotiation where if we do come to a deal, it's going to be a long-term kind of partnership. So, I think an open door policy, a direct policy is best. Hopefully they'll feel the same way. I'll try and engage that and see how they want to kind of introduce each other's interest. But that's pretty much my strategy, and I look forward to it.